Hello and welcome to Payday 2 101 with your host as always, Mah-Dry-Bread. In this video I'll be teaching you general gameplay tips that will both help you in Payday 2 and help you with first-person shooters in general. First, I'll start with the ones that'll help with gaming in general before we get started on the Payday 2 specific ones. Number 1. Turn off mouse acceleration. Mouse acceleration is an option that's turned on by default in Windows and causes a lot of issues with first-person shooters. What it does is it decides how far your cursor goes on screen by both the speed of your mouse as well as the distance that it travels rather than just the distance. This means that moving your mouse 5 centimeters quickly will move your cursor farther than 5 centimeters slowly. This greatly hinders your aim in first-person shooters, as sometimes you'll be moving your mouse slowly to make micro-adjustments in a sniper scope, and other times you'll be moving your mouse quickly to react to a close-by enemy that just came into sight. This difference in distance depending on speed means that you'll never have a reliable way of knowing exactly how far you'll turn when moving your mouse in a combat situation in which you're using many different speeds. By simply turning off this option in Windows, you'll see a dramatic improvement in your ability to aim. It might feel a little bit weird for the first day, but stick with it and I promise that in less than a week, you'll be aiming much better. To turn it off in Windows, all you have to do is click on the Start menu, type Mouse, and you'll have a Mouse or Mouse Properties option. Go to your Pointers option and disable Enhanced Pointer Precision. Kind of misleading name, seeing as that's the exact opposite of what it does. Number 2. Max out your field of view. Some people say the field of view is up to personal preference, but especially in a game like Payday 2, you'll simply never be as good as you can be unless you max it out. Your field of view, or FOV, is what determines how much peripheral vision you have. The higher your FOV is set, the farther back it pulls the camera so that you can see more around you. This is extremely important as you're able to see enemies at your sides far more easily. Payday 2 does a very good job of making the higher ends of the FOV not feel like a fisheye lens, so you should be able to adjust to it very quickly. You'll be able to find your FOV slider in the advanced section of the video section of the options menu. Number 3. Use AIM 400 kilograms. AIM 400 kilograms is a website made by Russian professional Counter-Strike player Eugene Gebchenko to help train players on how to get better in first-person shooters through quick and simple flash games. This website has a bunch of flash games that help train you on how to react quickly to anything that comes into view, as well as to be able to shoot at it accurately, even if it's small. It only takes 2 minutes a day if you want to start with the exact aiming course, and you'll see a noticeable improvement in your ability to get headshots quickly within a week. All you need is a browser and a mouse to play. Just keep in mind that this site is primarily in Russian, and the English translation isn't perfect. A link to this website will be in the description of this video. Now we move on to the gameplay tips that are specific to Payday 2 with Number 4. Keep an ear out. When I say that, I don't just mean to listen for special enemies. I mean to keep an ear out for fellow heisters. A mistake that players often make is that they tune out the lines that their teammates yell in different situations. This quickly becomes a bad habit, as you'll often see teammates simply walk into grenades, or not come to your aid when there's a bulldozer because they don't listen for the sound clips that play when you throw a grenade or spot a bulldozer. The biggest thing you'll need to listen for is other players constantly yelling for enemies to get down or put their hands up. This means that the player has the Dominator skill and is trying to get enemies to surrender. If you find someone yelling at an enemy while shooting at them, don't shoot at the same target. It's important that you listen out for this, because they're trying to weaken the enemy so that they will surrender. If you shoot as well, you're likely going to end up killing the enemy before he can surrender, and your team will end up losing out on a hostage that could have been used to get a member of your crew out of custody, or potentially an ally if someone on the team has the Joker skill. Number 5. Communicate with your team. I can't stress enough how important it is that you communicate with your team, especially if this is a team that you don't often play with, and they don't know what your build is like. With good communication, not only can you keep each other safe more easily, but you can complete your objective quickly. You'll very commonly see broken drills just sitting there waiting to be fixed. You should communicate with your team before the stage starts to figure out who has the best drill to place and who is able to fix it the fastest, so that you know to cover them and let them fix it when it breaks. You need to make sure that everyone knows if they need to suit up for a shootout or a stealth mission before you start, because nothing is worse than either having a player join midway through in a shootout in a suit, or join in a stealth mission in full body armor and instantly blowing your cover with a shotgun through a window. Number 6. Have a plan. This is another problem that I see all the time online, and it's been the death of countless teams. You need to go into a mission having a plan and make sure that everyone is in on the plan. Let's say you're playing the mission Watch Dogs. Are you going to defend on the street by the police cars and keep the police from massing up, or are you going to move all of the coke to the warehouse behind the truck and bunker up there? These are important things to know before the mission starts to avoid having one person go to the street with the coke while the others are going to the warehouse and someone ends up being killed for it. Worst of all, if someone breaks the plan because they didn't know it, it usually causes arguments and that ends up in a mass kicking of the whole team. Number 7. Always aim for the head. Always. I know this one might seem obvious, but a lot of people stop trying to aim for headshots when the enemy gets close, or they won't aim for headshots when using an automatic weapon or shotgun. You need to get in the habit of always aiming for the head with every single weapon you use, every single shot. It doesn't matter what difficulty. You want to get used to that to the point that nearly every shot you do is a headshot. It will dramatically increase the damage you deal on higher difficulties and is the only way to survive a shootout on Death Wish difficulty. Believe me, if you keep doing it, it just becomes second nature. Number 8. Remap the damn chat button. This one is gonna sound silly, but I can't count how many times that myself and many other people have accidentally opened the chat window when we meant to reload, causing us to get killed. By default, the chat button is T, and it's dangerously close to R for reload. Simply changing it to Y will save you and your teammates a lot of headaches. Number 9. Never stray too far from the rest of the crew. This happens a lot where one person will run off to do something and end up getting killed in a very bad spot. Usually they end up straying off from the group because they need to go collect ammo or they're trying to chase down an enemy. I know it can be tempting, but don't stray from the group. Communicate with them and let them know what you need so you can move as a group. Even the toughest enforcer can get caught off guard and knocked out in one hit by an enemy cloaker. Lastly, for the final and most important tip of all, number 10, always stay calm. Payday 2 can be a frustrating game sometimes. Sometimes you blow a stealth mission because the weapon spread made your bullet miss just barely, 3 times in a row, and now everyone knows. Sometimes 3 bulldozers all come in at once and your team just isn't ready to deal with it. Sometimes someone makes a big mistake and you lose on the 3rd day of a pro job. This stuff happens to everyone, and it's important to always keep in mind that it does no good to get angry about it. Don't get angry at your teammates, don't get angry at the game, this stuff just happens sometimes. If a teammate made a big mistake, talk to them about what they should do next time. If someone freaks out on you, you can always find a new team. If you feel frustrated, just take a breather and relax. As long as you're having fun and feeling fine, you're gonna be at your best. That's it for this video on how to improve. The next few episodes of Payday 2 101 will be about some very general builds for the 4 character classes, starting with the Mastermind. If you're interested in this series and would like to watch more, a link to the playlist will both be on screen as well as in the description. This series will be ever updating as new patches change old mechanics, so I'll keep you guys updated. If you're looking for some teammates to play a game with, why not join my Steam page linked in the description. If you want to keep up with me, I've got my Facebook fan page and my Twitter down there as well. Feel free to request I talk about anything in the game that you'd like to see me talk about if I don't already have a video on it in the playlist, and I look forward to seeing everyone's feedback. Thank you all for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.